So I've gotten the question of should I do like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 passages in a row in order to build up endurance and fatigue for a full-length exam. So personally, I never did that for my exam and I still got a 131, so I'll kind of talk about how that played out and also sometimes why I don't recommend that for students. So one of the biggest reasons I don't recommend doing 6 to 7 to 8 to 9 passages every single day of the week is that oftentimes students really burn out and it gets a little bit miserable to do CARS passages and that many CARS passages every single day. And there's more effective ways of how you can prep and still build up endurance and avoid fatigue for a test. So I think what's more important is to focus on, can you get your timing and your pacing down for each individual passage that you're doing? So timing kind of looks like, okay, can I get it under 10 minutes for each passage that I'm doing? And what pacing looks like is, can I make sure I don't spend too much time on one question and then have to sacrifice on other questions? So what I usually teach students to do is time themselves for about almost 30 seconds to a minute, and if you can't get the answer in that time, you're probably not working on the reasoning right, so just flag it, pick the best answer, and come back to it with the remaining time that you have. That's been super helpful for people because it's gotten their time down a lot on the questions. It helps them be more effective and efficient with time when it comes to putting these strategies that they've been practicing into practice, and it's helped them keep their time under 10 minutes. So once your timing per passage for 1 to 2 passages is spot on and you're able to do it in 10 minutes or less, then you can think about adding in more passages. And probably the max that you can do, at least from what I've observed both personally and with a lot of my students, without burning out, is about 5 passages back to back for almost 4 to 5 days in a week. So doing 5 passages back to back or even 4 is really helpful, and the goal with that is to maintain 10 minutes or under for each passage, and then also make sure that you're feeling okay throughout it, that you're not making silly mistakes, and that your accuracy is fairly consistent. Then what I usually tell students to do, and this is what I also did when I was preparing, is if you're going to do 4 to 5 passages back to back for, let's say 4 days in a week, you can even taper it down to 3 if you're getting a little bit burnt out, is to basically make sure that you can keep up that timing and accuracy consistently. And once you can do it consistently, meaning for 3 or 4 days in a row and for week after week, let's say you do it for a week and you're damn, my accuracy and timing were awesome, then you can start taking full-length exams at the end of that week. And if you don't want to take a full-length exam, you can just mimic doing 9 passages back to back. So it's kind of like if you're training and you have days of training where you're focusing on your technique and kind of giving yourself a chance to build up your strength and your endurance and all that. And then at the end of the week, you're doing a big drill where you're mimicking the test. And what resources you can use to mimic the test, there's quite a few. You can use kind of just doing the CARS section for maybe a free exam that they have, a third-party full-length exam. You can kind of take 9 Khan Academy passages or 9 whatever third parties you have and put them back to back. And also Jack Weston has a really nice feature where they have CARS practice exams where they give you 9 passages back to back. And so starting off with 1 to 2 passages, kind of for 3 or 4 days where you're doing it 10 minutes and under and your accuracy is nice. Once you can do that, and when I mean nice accuracy, 75 to 80%, once you can do that comfortably, then you can bump it up to 3 to 4. And then if you have any issues where oh, now when I'm doing it 3 to 4, my timing is going off, then you can practice that timing again with 1 to 2 passages. So it's okay if you've decided, oh, I'm going to do 3 to 4, but you're not capable. It's okay to kind of backtrack, adjust your timing and strategy, and then try again later in the week. And then once you're comfortable doing almost 4 to 5 passages in a row, start incorporating 9 passages back to back just once a week. If you do it every day, burnout is a real thing, and it's not fun to do that many passages all the time. But yeah, that's what I did to get a 131, and that's also what's helped a lot of people bump up their scores that I've worked with about I would say about 1 to 3 points on average with maybe a month or so of practice. Of course, everyone's case is different, so If you have any questions that you feel like would be helpful, kind of give me a better sense of your situation, but also might be helpful to your peers, comment them and I'll try to help out.